This channel is for educational purposes only. Please do your own due diligence before making any investment decisions.
Hi, this is Joe Rabil. So what I want to do today is combined indicators. Now, one of the things that I've talked about and I teach is that we want to make sure when we're using more than one indicator that we're using each of them for different reasons, right? We don't want to duplicate the same information. We want to use them for different things, all right? So I'm going to do ADX today and RSI as a combo and show you how they can be used as a really nice tool, and they fit together very, very well. If you want to learn more about some of these techniques, I would suggest starting with my book at rabilstockresearch.com. I've also left you can click the link in the description area below to get more information. Also, if you do enjoy this content, please hit the like button and also subscribe. Okay, so I'm using the chart of XLK, the technology sector spider. And what I've done on this chart, I've got a little bit different setup. I've still got the 18 and the 40 simple moving averages up above. I've got my ADX in the top scale here underneath price, and then I've got RSI underneath. So I don't have the MACD showing because I wanted to just point out how these two can be used together in a way that I use fairly often. All right. Now, what we're starting out with, we always start out with the ADX, because what the ADX is going to do is going to identify when we want to start looking for something. Like which stocks should we be watching for? Which markets should we be looking at? Which ones should we be focused on? All right. And then when we determine that we've got a pattern that's looking attractive, we look for the RSI to help us with the timing. All right, so let's just start with this move to the upside. Started in 2023. We get a really strong move. Now, how do I know this is a strong move that has a possibility of continuation? Because we get a strong reading on ADX. Strong reading would mean that we're getting a move that goes at least above the 25 mark, right? So if ADX crosses above 25 with price moving higher, all right, preferably making a higher high, in this situation, you make a higher high and you keep moving and you get the ADX going above 25, all right? When that happens, we can then look for any opportunities where the RSI 5, the gray line, is dropping down under this dotted line, which is the 50 level. All right. So we want to be on the lookout for when we have a strong trend condition and we get deep pullbacks. Well, even moderate pullbacks, because anything under the 50 mark is basically working our way back to neutral. In a strong uptrend, the RSI, even an RSI 5, will not get down to the really oversold condition. Now, we did hit it here, and we did hit it here. And then on this one, it actually took place after the momentum started to slow. But the point I'm trying to make is that you don't actually look for an oversold reading. And most of the time when you're in a strong uptrend, you don't necessarily need that. You can get these minor pullbacks below the 50 mark with the RSI 5. Now, one other confirming piece of evidence is that the RSI 20 in red stays above the 50 mark during those pullbacks. And if you have that, then you can continue to play the game. Now, what we do is we adjust our thinking based on how strong the ADX is. Let's just follow the way this played out. We get a strong move, and then we get a pullback, and we get three different pullback signals that could have been played, but in reality, it was all a part of one move, and then we get a start to a new trend, right? Then we get another pullback here. Let's just clear this off so you can see. So this pullback here is another setup, another pullback opportunity there. This was a really good setup between the 18 and the 40. This gets deep oversold, but the RSI 20 holds above, and we had good confirmation prior to that. So we always want to use the ADX prior and then say, okay, I want to look to buy a pullback because this is strong. The trend is still strong. Now, we make another move to the upside here and the ADX does not confirm. All right. Now, we get the same setup. We get a deep oversold reading and the RSI 20 holds. So what I look at when I see this, when I see ADX is not strong, but I see a signal on this time frame, then I know if I want to play it, I might just go looking for the ones that have strong trends, all right? But if I decide I want to play this is one of my stocks or markets that I want to trade pretty regularly, then I know I'm doing this more as a trading play. I'm looking to get in and get out. I'm not really looking to get in and stay in, right? To stay in on the bigger moves. I'm looking to just play it for a quick swing trade. So you could have done that in these opportunities, these little opportunities, until the ADX, until the RSI 20 broke below the 50 level here, right? So what we can do is look at what's taking place on an ADX basis and say, I have a strong trend. Let's take advantage of pullbacks. All right. Now, you can do the same thing on the downside. If you notice, we get a strong ADX reading based on the red, based on the sellers, right, during this decline. And then look at this rally to the upside here. Now, we did overrun the 50 mark a little bit, but it came down quickly below. So you can use it in both ways. It happened again here. It turned into a little kind of decline, not a big decline at that point. And then you can also go back in this area back here and see that we had a pretty strong ADX condition at the beginning of the trend back in 2020, 2021. And we got several opportunities. Now, once this drops down like this, now we're playing these pullbacks for quicker trades. Now, it ended up extending out. It ended up continuing to go. But I would be, if I'm playing these without the confirmation of ADX, I'm playing them for much quicker plays, probably going down to a daily chart, getting in and trying to get out and playing it for more of a quicker swing when I have that condition in place. So we want to play strong ADX and then get these oversold dips and use the ADX and the RSI that way. I think it can be a great tool, especially when the RSI 20 is confirming the trend by holding above 50 or staying below 50 if it's a downtrend. All right, let's switch over to the daily chart real quick because I wanted to show how these signals show up in any time frame. All right, first of all, let's just look at this period here during late 2024, early 2025. Do you see how we just don't have any trend strength whatsoever? I mean, this led to the big decline here, but more important to me is that if I'm trying to play this and there were several signals that you could have considered to be signals based on the RSI dips and the fact that the RSI 20 was holding, at least up until about this point, you could do those, but again, you have to be a little bit more nimble. If you're going to play them, you have to play them for quicker trades. All right, so this is going to play out in all different types of time frames. Look at what took place here. We had ADX confirming to the upside based on the buyers, right? And then we get the dip, right? And then we get another confirmation of ADX to the upside, and then we get the dip, and you take advantage of these pullbacks. Now, what I do is I actually go down to another time frame. In this case, I was using on the weekly, I'd probably be going down to a daily, but on a daily chart, I'd probably go down to an hourly and help with the entry for these type of signals. So we can always use these two time frames together this way. I mean, you can see what took place on the decline phase. We get a strong move to the downside, confirming ADX. So now I know I want to be playing this and looking for a play. And then we get the rally up above the 50 mark. And then again, if I go down to the smaller time frame, that's going to help refine my signals. It's also going to help eliminate the little moves that look like they're signals, but in reality, they're not. They might look like a signal on this time frame with one bar, but if you go down to the smaller time frame, it'll eliminate a lot of those misses, those early signals or whatever, and then you get the confirming evidence with that. So anyway, those are ways I think we can use these indicators together. I would suggest starting to pay closer attention. Now, when you throw the MACD into the mix, now all of a sudden we're dovetailing three different things because the MACD is going to help zero in on when another timing tool. All right. ADX is mostly used for identifying which stocks to do. MACD is helping zero in on when we can start focusing in on something. And then I like to use this RSI to really kind of give it a final piece of evidence to know that we've got a setup in place. Now, there's another way you can use this, and I want to just point this out. So if you've got a strong move to the upside and you start to get a pullback in a stock, now how do you know it's pulled back enough? I mean, it doesn't always pull back to the 18, right? So what I do is if a stock has made a move to the upside and is really strong and is showing good signs in one way or another, good green DI kicking in, then what I'll do is I'll put an RSI, I'll just put in an alarm for RSI 5 to drop down below 50. Some certain software programs will do that. I would suggest using that as a way to make sure you don't miss something as it's pulling back. We lose sight of things very easily, and I think using that little method there, using the RSI alarm when a stock is strong, I think is a really powerful addition. All right, let me know if you have any questions. See you next time.